Hi guys, this is Cory from Mayo, the Anthem podcast. I just wanted to give you a heads up before we get into the show. This episode was for entertainment purposes only. Please, 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 under no circumstances, try and go shot for shot with Rob and I, because this is for entertainment purposes only, and I do not want to be responsible if you get alcohol poisoning, which is a very real possibility because I think that's what I'm going through right now. So please be responsible and mostly enjoy the show. Oh! Hello and welcome to yet another Oh the Anthem podcast. This is Cory.
This is Rob. Good afternoon, everybody.
Rob, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. Click. Oh my.
Tequila.
Oh my.
Oh, this is gonna be trouble, this episode. If you didn't follow.
Ooh. By the way, I'm not going to say the brand of the liquor, but it is here on camera for them to watch, and if they would like to sponsor us at some time, we could do this again.
Yeah,
we
just do this every week.
Yeah. So
because those bottles aren't cheap.
They're not. Whoo, all right. How was your week, man?
It was not great, to be honest with you. First of all, there was massive flash floods in Baltimore County, and my basement
everywhere.
flooded.
Where we are right now.
Yeah, where we are right now. I was able to clean it up in time for the shoot, but in addition to that...
I didn't really notice.
The car that I have been driving, my grandfather's old car, my father's car, decided to die on me, so I've been without a vehicle for the last...
That sucks.
3 days, I guess.
Yeah.
It is no good. And I will say this. It's a Mercedes that I'm driving right now.
I love how you just offhand it. It's
well, I don't want people thinking that I'm like one of those people who's, this is Merc.
It is. Well, you do call it the Merc.
I do, but that's because I feel like an asshole saying Mercedes all the time.
Fair enough.
But regardless, an interesting safety feature I thought I would point out. When the car is disabled, the brake lights remain on.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like consistently. So I guess the idea is if you're like broken down on the side of the road,
people see you.
The brake lights will be on the whole time so that a tow truck can find you or people see you or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But what that also happens to do is burn the battery down to nothing every single time you try and jumpstart it. So right now I have a dead battery. I have to jumpstart it, and I have gas upstairs.
I was going to say, you got gas, too, because you were worried it ran out of gas.
Yeah. So hopefully today that problem is solved. But in the meantime, this has been quite the hell week. How about you, Rob?
Well, I just like that your week is what our weeks were when we were 15.
Yeah.
Getting rides from people, doing whatever you can do to get to work.
Right.
Yeah, so I can't
Having
believe how
basements flooded.
Jesus Christ. So my week sucked. I don't know if everybody can hear, but those who know me, I've been sick since about Tuesday. So I can't tell you how awesome the drinking episode coming after 5 days of being sick is. It's going to be fantastic, although I think it's going to make me feel better.
Well, my father, who is a tequila aficionado,
of course he is,
says that you feel better after drinking tequila because everyone has a tactile deficiency. And you're replenishing your tactile deficiency when you drink tequila. So
well, there you go. So maybe that's what's been missing.
Yeah. Let's see here. First of all, I wanted to give a big up to everybody who's been listening, going through theanthem.com, checking out all the stuff we've been doing. We hit the daily high for viewers of the page.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
This week. And honestly, I'm quite struck by it all because I never expected this to catch on as quickly as it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I'm not overjoyed that it did, but I mean, it's interesting that there seems to be a sort of progressive growth with podcasts. 10 listeners, 50 listeners, 100 listeners, up the line. And, how long that takes is all up there. But, we seem to have developed some people who really enjoy listening to us. So
yeah, and
thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And from all walks, I mean, I think one of the big things is People from law school have called me. People from college, high school, people I know now. So I think what we're seeing is that, Facebook has changed everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Being able, and obviously we couldn't even do this without social media and the internet, but being able to stay in contact with people. So it is what it is. I mean, I thank everybody for listening, and I hope you keep listening and spread it and share it. I always have to remind people. I'm like, they will call me, they'll Facebook me, whatever, and say, oh, my God, I loved it, and I can't wait for next week. And I'm like, great, did you tell somebody? And they're like, oh, yeah, I guess I could do that. And I'm like, if you like it, tell other people, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's I hate to be that person who's like, hey, share this if you like it. But, I mean, it really does help out a lot if you enjoy it, so...
And especially when we do stuff like this, it's better to have the wider listenership so that people could tell us what they want and what they want to hear. And we have like the next few weeks booked up, but after that, I mean, we're planning on doing this every single week. So more people listen means more ideas, more things that we can talk about, and I think that's nothing but a good thing. So,
and I mean, this whole week is pretty much everything that we're talking about today has sort of been because of things that people have sent in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, we didn't really, like, plan the show as in, like, we knew what we were going to talk about until today. So, this is great fun for me. I hope we can do this fairly often.
Yeah, absolutely. But, there's always downs with the ups.
Yes. Well. Earlier this week, we got our first negative comment. I wouldn't necessarily say it's negative.
I don't think it was negative. It was judgmental.
Yes, a little judgmental on Rob. And I got the notification in the email saying somebody commented on last week's episode. And immediately I read it and I was just like, I should probably let Rob know about this.
Yeah.
Just give him a heads up that this is coming. So I took a screenshot and I sent it to him. I said, hey, just letting you know this comment came in. Wanted to let you know. And I figured Rob's reaction, like most people, would be something along the lines of like, oh, man. Like, I can't, somebody doesn't like me.
Yeah.
But Rob, on the other hand, was texting me more about when was I actually going to post this as opposed to...
Yeah. And for people who added me on Facebook, the Thursday repost of the link was based on that comment.
Yeah.
Because I'm proud. I mean, it is what it is. And I responded, and people can go to otheanthem.com, check out the comment. You can make your own comments. We'd love to have comments there. And I think we're pushing towards less moderation because I don't think the moderation is necessary. A little bit to make sure that there's no profanity or anything like that.
I don't give a shit about profanity. But the only reason why I have any kind of filter on there at all is because when I didn't, I was getting deluged with spam comments.
Oh, the bots and everything, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, if I leave it up and just let it throw it to the wolves, then it'll ruin the discussion. But honestly, I don't give a shit what you say, as long as it's not outrageously offensive or, horribly off topic or something like that.
Well, we don't have it in front of us, but the comment, you can go to The Anthem and see it, is really pretty derogatory towards me, very just judgmental and everything else. And I have to say, I guess I didn't really talk about this before, but I want to just break for a second and we'll say something here. I would say break the fourth wall, but we're not on TV. I mean, I guess
we're kind of on video now.
So, wow, now I can hear myself way better in my head.
You kept turning away from the microphone.
Sorry.
That's why.
So this is what I'll say about it is that you and I have discussed before how my legend kind of precedes me places that I go.
Yeah.
And if I had done or said everything that people think that I had done or said, then I wouldn't have time for anything else but the stories that people hear.
Yeah.
But I embrace that legend, and I kind of work within its bounds. So breaking the fourth wall, and I promise you if we do 5,000 episodes, this is the only time I'm going to say it. But I got contacted by one of my parents' friends making a comment about it. So I feel like I have to address it. We do this as entertainment.
Yes.
And when you and I are in a conversation by ourselves, it has one tone. And when there is someone listening, it has a completely different tone. And I ham up the bit of douchiness and the, I'm not misogynistic. I'm certainly, I do what I do. I'm a loving guy, give back all the time. But the persona of Rob is somewhat stronger than that. And so just so it's clear, like what you're getting
the
here,
public persona of Rob is a lot more out there than the actual.
Absolutely. So when you hear things that we're talking about, it's not always exactly what it's. And it is. It is. I mean, this is what we do. This is our conversations that we have. But even if everybody stuck around for that last promo, after the Anthem image came up, if you didn't hit stop, you heard like 20 seconds of additional background noise.
Yeah, just an outtake.
And that was just us bullshitting around in between takes, and that's how it is. It's like big, and it's like somebody got punched in the face. It looks like I got punched in the face. Well, you probably deserved it. Yeah, you're right, I probably did. Like that's hamming it up. So for anybody who's concerned about that, well, and this is one thing I thought that I haven't prepped very much yet would be the. Is that better? I feel like I'm going to spit on the mic now.
I don't really care if you spit on the mic.
Just
talking into the side of it would help. Like,
oh, there we go. Yeah, because this is the weird setup. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get it on camera, so.
Yeah, okay. So, what was I? I guess the only point is that this is done for entertainment purposes, and if you want to know what I'm really about, I haven't talked a lot about the blog that I have because I haven't really done a lot of work on it. I'll be honest, busy doing other things, writing and doing this, obviously.
Right.
But foundingthefuture.blogspot.com. You'll hear me say a lot of stuff here. A lot of that's just for entertainment. It's just to ham up the situation, especially when like Erin's here and I can ham up from her to you through the mic.
And it's a big collective hamming.
Exactly, and it's not necessarily real, but I do take things very seriously. And again, some of the things I say just to get a reaction. It's the way I've been for a very long time. Like I'll play devil's advocate first and foremost because I want to get a reaction out of you.
Right.
I'll say something that you will know is absolutely not true, but it'll be so strong that you have to respond to it, and that starts the discussion.
Right.
So in the future, just and again, this is the last time I'm going to do it, but in the future, just take that into consideration. I mean, you and I work probably 6-7 hours in a week getting ready for this, doing a little research and what are we going to talk about. And well, I do. I don't know if you do.
I spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
Never mind the 7 hours mixing and
right,
processing the file on Monday, but it's. I love doing this.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best moves I've made in a long time.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're doing it with me, and I think that, God, this tequila's hit us quick.
I know,
we're
right?
bringing this down,
Ooh, gosh. All right,
just one shot, and we're
gonna be
already bubbling. Anyway.
But yeah, just it's for entertainment. I mean, we do work because we treat this very seriously, and it is our discussions, but it's our discussions as if somebody else was sitting here. Like, you and I would sit in the lunchroom, not the lunchroom, but Sabaro's at Hofstra, and have these big winding conversations that for a lot of port were to entertain the 4 or 5 people sitting around us.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Well,
that's what this is.
The Anthem is an entertainment company.
There you go.
You know, it's digital media, it's short films, one-day feature films, who knows, TV. It's all open to it, but it's entertainment. You wouldn't get mad at Chris Jericho if he kicked somebody in the face.
Right. If he did it on the show.
Yeah, you wouldn't be upset with him like the person Chris Jericho.
Right.
You'd be upset with Chris Jericho, the character that he plays, but you wouldn't be.
And I think that's that's the one you pulled it out, and I didn't even think about it. But that's the one thing I think that this is a lot like that professional wrestling thing where I don't mind being the heel. I don't mind being the guy who's saying stuff that's going to be offensive and get people to comment. But that's kind of what it is. So, Mom and Dad, if you ever see this is not necessarily the purity that is your son. It's Rob Cheek.
Yes, it is.
It's like another thing we talked about this week. Louis C.K.
Yeah,
it's like the show is him, but it's an entertaining version of him. It's based on reality, but it's bigger and it's more extreme.
Right,
and I'm okay with that.
Nobody likes the real life of people.
No, it's boring.
Nobody wants to. I would think that the dreams I have of Aaron Sorkin's life are a lot better than they actually are. Because in reality, what he's doing is spending hours in front of the computer, just like me,
right,
typing. And nobody wants to see that,
right?
But it is what it is.
And if it was just us, it would be a lot of NPR. Like, yeah. So I was this week. I was sitting on my couch watching some Netflix. So yeah.
Every once in a while, I would just shout out bullshit, and you'd have to beep it and everything like that. But
yeah, and I love how I told you to turn off your ringer, and my ringer just went off.
Yeah. Anyway, by the way, I'm really curious to see what people thought about that little Skype experiment that me and you did. on the promo.
Yeah.
'Cause
I heard a lot of good things, actually. I mean, I prefer to be in person because I think that there's a little dynamic that's back and forth. But I don't know what you heard. I heard that it was entertaining, and it seemed as if it was just as relatable as us being in the same room. So
yeah.
So in the heart, I mean, and those who know, or even those who don't, I guess, we live about 2 hours apart. So
Yeah.
it won't always be plausible to be in the same room, but that gives us another route to make sure we get it out every single week, even if we can't be in the same room.
Even if I have to dial you in phone-wise into the board and just plug you up, we can do it that way.
Yeah. And one other thing I did want to talk about before we got really into it, and that was we heard from the original, not the original Beth, but the original victim
of the Beth rule.
Yeah. Yes. And I don't know that she has listened. I got the sense that she was being polite and like she saw a reference to it and didn't really know that it was about so much that. But yeah, so we heard from her, and she wasn't unhappy about it, so I take that as a good thing.
Yeah. Well,
and speaking of the Beth thing, I also got contact from someone who loved the Beth references every single episode. I think that it's becoming like a thing, like a shtick, a scene that we do, and actually said...
Well, we had one texter who wishes it wasn't.
Yes, yeah.
But,
and
so maybe we have to adjust the rule to make it more universal, but that's a discussion for another time.
I think so. But what this person said is that she wanted, and you know what, now that I think about it, the fact that she wanted this probably has that same sentiment, that she's not forgettable. Like that after dating her, you will not be able to date another one.
Right.
But she wanted to get a T-shirt that had the Anthem thing on it, and it say something like, I'm a Beth, or I'm not a Beth. I can't actually remember now that we've talked about it so much. But so we may have swag coming your way, available for purchase. If anybody wants a T-shirt, let us know.
Yeah, we'll make it outrageously affordable. Because
oh yeah,
I don't really care about making a buck.
Not at all. Just
on a T-shirt.
There is again,
not at this point.
I sent you something, and you know the narcissistic Rob, your megalomaniac test from episode 1.
Right.
I sent you the 8 signs you're dating a psychopath.
Yeah.
Of which I probably have 6 of those.
Easily. It was like the first 6 were like all you.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I love is that I may be walking somewhere someday and see somebody wearing a shirt that says, I'm not a Beth, with the Anthem symbol on it, and that would just be like masturbation to me.
Yeah.
It would just be like, oh my God, yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, you know, I'm gonna slate it just for fun.
Yeah.
From this point on, we have magic words in effect.
Magic words are in effect. Do you have the list? I got the list right here.
We both have a list.
Okay.
Rob was quite nerdy this morning and typed up a printed list of what we're talking about.
This is the hours of prep work I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We don't just show up and talk. There's an effort put into this.
15 minutes before we get going. So here are our magic words. And from this point on, if any of them are said, then a shot of tequila is the punishment.
Right.
And I guess I'll just use this opportunity to like set up the show. Well, first,
yeah,
the ones that are going to be throughout, any form of drank, or drunk,
right,
is not allowed. So there's no you say a magic word and then I say drink, because then I drink as well.
Right.
That one will surely get us in trouble very quickly.
Yes, probably.
Beth is also another one. That was put on the list.
Thank God we got that out of the way before we get started.
So from this point on, no more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sidebar was another one that was recommended because we tend to say that a lot. So hopefully
Who thinks that we say that a lot?
And then our topics for today. Well, first we're gonna touch on the history of Cinco de Mayo,
which I didn't know, but I found super interesting when I looked at it.
Yeah, it was good stuff, and talk about our experience and what inspired this episode.
Yeah, and
then we're gonna talk about Donald Sterling and our Orioles. So
I'm not 100% sure. I'm super gassy. I'm not sure if it's the tequila, but I suspect it is.
The other magic words, by the way, are Orioles and Sterling.
Right, because that's the topics that we're going to talk about.
Right,
I'm already like a little out there. That's
why
I don't drink tequila.
Massive pussy. So
yeah, and I got like a belly full of nonsense. So, whew. All right. So kicking off with Cinco. That was the smoothest segue in the world. Here. So, obviously, this is a Cinco de Mayo episode brought to you by Name Brand Tequila that we're not going to say until you sponsor us. But it is really good. It's excellent stuff. So,
I really just want us to say another magic word so we have to drink it. Oh, well, shit.
And you will be responsible for your own pour. I think we should, now that we've put this out
Now
here,
that we've set it up.
you can see what we're drinking, and it's real. I guess we didn't show us opening it, but I promise you it's actual liquor.
Believe me, it's actual liquor.
So Cinco de Mayo obviously is a big holiday in the U.S. Strangely, what I found when I was kind of getting into it, because I'm a nerd and that's what I do, is that it's not a big holiday anywhere else in the world.
Right.
Not at all.
Much like St. Patrick's Day.
Right, and that was, again, it's a holiday that is rooted in somewhere else, but we take it and we say, wait, there's a drinking... Damn it.
Ingest.
Damn it.
So we're 2 shots in, each of us, at this point.
Oh. So I proudly...
Rob is chasing his tequila with apple juice, by the way.
I proudly say, I post that Don Draper thing on Facebook, and I've done it probably 50 times, where it's like, chase you? I don't even chase my liquor.
Yeah.
But, as I said, I am sick, and tequila is not my choice of beverage.
Right.
So I have concerns that, given the expensive equipment, that I may, without a chaser, blow up on something expensive, and I'm not trying to do that.
Well, there is a trash can behind us.
That is already full.
Worst comes to worst. Just
I don't think
punch
that's
it down a little bit.
Okay, so Cinco de Mayo is a holiday in Mexico, and what it celebrates is that at one point the French and the French and the Spanish had invaded Mexico, and that they were trying to each carve out this newly independent Mexico into part of their empire. And the French had gone on rough times, and for those of you who know anything about history, they had sold their only New World holdings to the United States in what was basically a yard sale. Like, U.S. walked up and was like, nickel? And they're like, yeah. Nah, dime. And they're like, 7 cents. 7 cents? Okay. And I think we literally got it for like 7 cents an acre, which is where that came from.
That's a very good price in any day and age.
Right. So we bought the French Empire in the New World, and the Spanish had theirs, and then the Mexicans got liberated, and then they went to war with the Americans. And as we know, that's the biggest mistake you can make, son. Don't go to war with America.
Yeah, unless it's any war since 1960.
Well, luckily this was before that. All right.
Back when America was World War champions.
Yeah, before that even. But listen, man, my head is already flooded. I can't even think. Listen, Hanoi Jane over here. Listen, if you're going to be a defeatist, we're going to have to take this podcast a different direction. I'm going to have to get my guns out. Anyway, so off the rails. So it celebrates the Mexican, Spanish and the French got all together at a place called La Puebla, I think is what it's called, Pruemba, something. And these meager Mexican forces defeated them. And so it's a lot like, what's a minor holiday in the U.S.? Flag Day.
Arbor Day.
Pearl Harbor Day. Or you said Arbor Day.
Yeah, I said Arbor Day, not Pearl Harbor Day. My grandfather was in Pearl Harbor, thank you very much.
And it is a holiday that should be celebrated, but we don't get off school or work or anything for it.
No,
so basically,
we don't get drunk in its honor.
We certainly don't. Neither do we Flag Day.
Speak for yourself.
I need a June excuse to drink. I'm not a dad. God!
This is going to be all day for Rob. He cannot, once he gets the wheels churning, he can't stop himself.
Can't stop myself. It's not like I'm a dad yet, so I can't celebrate Father's Day. That was the end of that thought.
Right. Well, speaking of which, Father's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, those are all ginned up holidays. Valentine's Day, ginned up holiday.
Right.
An excuse to sell greeting cards and chocolates and dates and so forth, but
Sorry, I was pouring. So right, and in fact, I keep putting it down there. Wow, this is not going to be good. So
I just don't want to kick it over.
Yeah, that's going to probably happen too. So what happened is that the beer companies were looking for a new holiday, and there was so much gap between their big holidays that involved consuming beverages. Got that one. So what they did is they said they purchased all of these Mexican or Spanish sounding brands. Just so you know, Corona, Tecate,
Sol.
None of them are actually Mexican beers. They are Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch or Miller, whoever owns Miller. Anyway, so they're owned by these people, and they were looking for a holiday. They're like, oh. So they were looking for a holiday, and this was the one that they found. They're like, look, it's right at the beginning, and there was this like nouveau renaissance of Spanish influence in the Southwest. And so they said, here, we're going to make up a holiday. Well, we're going to take a holiday that exists, make it up, blow it up, and sell a lot of...
We'll gin it up, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So it's like they did for that day what the greeting card companies did for Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and Father's Day and Grandparents' Day and all that stuff. And similarly, and the great comparison is St. Patrick's Day, because they did the same thing to St. Patrick's Day. They took a day that in Ireland, it's Ireland, so there's always drinking, but it is more solemn, and we go to Mass, and then we go out for like a wake-style drinking day, and they turned it into a, like, let's get wasted at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I remember once I was having a conversation with my very Irish grandmother, and I said, I gave up drinking for... God damn it.
Oh, my. Yes, indeed.
I gave up something for Lent.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what was the something you gave up? It came back on him.
It was up in my nose. I gave up consumption for Lent.
Wait, like the lung disease where you have bleeding?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I gave that up for Lent because it's something that I love and I don't like it taken away from me.
Right, yeah.
But I said, I'm upset that I'm going to miss St. Patrick's Day. And she said, oh, it's a Saint's Day. You can ignore that one.
Oh, right.
Because on Sundays and Saint days...
You can ignore your Lent rules.
Yeah, your Lenten privileges, I guess.
By the way, I heard a joke, and it's probably off something you've heard before, but I thought of you as soon as I heard it. So 2 Irish Catholics are sitting on a bench in Ireland overlooking the coast, and they each have a Guinness in their hands. And the first one takes a sip.
Sounds about right so far.
Right. The first one takes a sip and looks up at the sunset, and he looks to his companion and says, this truly shows the beauty of God's creation. The sun and the stars and the ocean and the earth and everything mixed together. This is what God has given us such a great gift today. And his partner takes a sip of his beer and says, yep, we are going to pay for this tomorrow.
Yeah. I told you that joke.
Did you?
Yeah, It's a great Catholic joke, though.
Yeah, no,
great
and
Irish
Catholic guilt.
Joke.
Yeah, so you can't enjoy good things because you. But anyway, so that's the rules that don't make sense. It's like good things mean we're going to get punished later, and we take 40 days from doing something, except for the 19 holidays
that happen in between,
Sundays in between. Yeah, which I don't understand. And by the way,
technically, I don't think St. Patrick's Day it counts as one of the 40 days, even though it's not.
Oh no, and they do. The Sundays themselves don't count, but the Saints' days do. But you just don't have to do the rules.
You don't have to observe the rules on that day.
Yeah, I think
that's why. As much as I love 40 Days and 40 Nights, the Josh Hartnett romantic comedy.
Yeah,
I don't understand why he didn't beat off furiously on Sundays.
Because he's not actually Catholic, so he follows the Protestant rules, which are absolute abstention for 40 days.
See, this is why Catholicism is the way to go.
Well, yeah, I suppose. As long as you're not
other than the diddling.
I was going to say, unless you're an 11-year-old boy, right. It's probably not the best thing for you. Just kidding to everyone out there. I'm just kidding. It was a joke. Calm down.
No, but that really happened. So everyone should be very upset about the fact that priests are actually doing that. So.
Yeah, and absolutely right. But I don't want to.
But yeah, just kidding.
Not making light of it.
Yeah, we're not making light of it. But seriously, that happened, and it's kind of fucked up.
Oh, it's going to be good. So, by the way, I'm checking my notes. it was the Battle of Puebla in 1862, I'm a freaking genius. And I want to give a shout out to somebody, I can't say their name for reasons, but who said, like, I don't know how you keep that stuff just jumbled around in your head and you can spit it out. I'm a freaking genius. But that made me think of you, so just so you know.
Well, I mean, remembering dates is kind of like... I don't understand people who don't fucking remember dates. Like,
I just had to find an excuse to give her a shout out.
Okay, whatever.
Without saying
the
name.
We should probably set up before we get way too far down the... Before we kick the can way too far down the road here.
Oh, my.
The reason we came up with this idea was a Cinco de Mayo story I'm going to share with you right now.
And we have many.
We have many.
Yeah.
We have a couple to share, but this one is the one that began it all. So, Robin and I had an early day of classes on Cinco de Mayo, whatever year this happened.
As we tended, I mean, it had to be a Thursday because I always had Tuesday, Thursday classes, and I feel like it was also the weekend, which is another motivator for the story.
Right. At Hofstra, the weekend started on Thursday. Nobody had Friday classes.
No, some people did.
People did, but almost everyone didn't have Friday classes.
Because you could, and why would you?
Right.
Yeah.
So, Thursday we got out at, call it 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that.
Accurate. I'm going to fact check your storytelling.
Figure out what year it was?
Yeah.
We got out at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the big Cinco de Mayo bash that was happening at one of the bars was set for 9 or something like that.
I'm so entertained by our own stories. I just can't even deal with it.
Right. But we decided, what are we going to do for these 6 hours before we can drink and party with everybody else? And I came up with the idea, let's play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 on the Nintendo GameCube that I had in my room.
Which, by the way, ages this story perfectly. Like, yes, the GameCube, which I don't think was the most up-to-date system, but it wasn't like...
It wasn't the most up-to-date system, but I think it was the most up-to-date for Nintendo at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't as if we were like, let's break open that box you brought from your house and play classic NES. No,
right.
This was GameCube when you could still go to the store and buy games for it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that's when the story was old.
So we were playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, which was a fucking awesome game if you've never played.
Especially on GameCube.
Yeah, on GameCube it was the best. When you had an actual physical controller, and you didn't have to, like, do this whole move.
And
you can only see that if you're watching the video, too. It was me doing a pantomime wheel bus driver style, like 9 feet out.
It's more like a submarine, because the bus would be lateral.
True, I guess.
So this is a submarine. You're driving a submarine down the streets of Need for Speed City. Or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, we came up with the idea that we would take a shot. The winner of each lap of our races would take a shot.
Right.
And that would even out the competition.
And this was also, it was hot, well, I think you said that, it was Hot Pursuit. So eventually we switched to if you're the cop and you get the stop, the other person would have to drink.
Right.
But if you made it all the way through your, I guess, 3 minutes without getting stopped, then the cop would have to drink.
There were all kinds of rules that just basically ended up with the two of us switching off, taking shots of tequila.
Yes.
And needless to say, we didn't make it to any of the bashes at the bars that evening.
And so you skipped over the best part of the story, which is it's May, so it's getting dark later. So there were definite signals that we should have drawn in. We were in a room about this size, sitting in about this position, actually.
Yeah.
You were on the bed. I was in the chair. That chair, which has now seen so much stuff.
It was a different chair.
Was it? Wasn't this chair?
No, it wasn't this chair.
Because that chair is... I wouldn't touch that chair.
I need a new chair.
What's been going on? But so we were sitting about this position, and where the camera is about where the TV was. Maybe a little closer. This room's actually a little bigger than your dorm room. But so we had windows all along the outside.
Right.
That faced the setting sun. So at 3:40, 3:50 when we sat down, there was a sun coming through the window. And then for the next 7 to 8 hours, we sat in a slowly darkening room without turning the lights on, just slowly darkening, taking shots out of a bottle of Montezuma, which is God, did I say that? I didn't. No. Ha-ha. All right. Ha-ha. So for those who are...
Well, you didn't say drink?
Yes. That was on purpose. That's not even fair.
I like tequila.
Yeah. So taking shots out of a bottle of Montezuma, which is really it's the champagne of tequila.
This is a shame.
Montezuma, for those who aren't aware of it, is similar. What is the vodka that you can get? The Rubinoff.
Oh, rubbing alcohol.
Basically Rubinoff. It's the plastic fifth of an off shade that's somewhat between the silver and the dark tequila. But it costs $5, and you get like a handle. So
you basically get this much for $5.
Yeah,
if you're looking at the video. We have 750 milliliters of vodka or tequila in front of us.
No, actually, then it's double that because the handle's 1.5 So it's twice as much of that for $5, and that did not cost $5.
No.
So we're just sitting there taking shot after shot after shot and running and racing, and it had to be 3 o'clock in the morning. And you have that moment that you sometimes have with video games where you're like, what time is it? I'm hungry. How long have we been sitting here? And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And all of the
I have that
over.
I have that feeling all the time when I wake up. Like when I take a nap in the middle of the afternoon,
like
and then I wake
yesterday?
up in a panic, and I'm just like, what time is it?
Right.
What? Oh my God. And then you look at a clock and it says like 8:50, and you're just like, shit, I'm late for work. I'm late for work. And you're like, wait a minute, 8:50 p.m. Oh shit, I'm supposed to be over at Aaron's house.
Yeah, which is why you're always late.
Right.
You hibernate. But like yesterday when you were supposed to, 2 days ago. Well, when did we do the promo? I don't know. I've been sick. I don't really care.
Yeah, it's all a blur.
Yeah, so that I was sitting around like, all right, he's going to call eventually. And I actually sent you a text that said, you fell asleep, I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to go do some work. And then like an hour later, I get the, oh, shoot, I fell asleep.
Yeah. That must have been Wednesday, because I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday cleaning out a basement. So.
Oh, right. I guess that's an excuse. So, but anyway, so 3 o'clock in the morning, we start wandering. I think we go get Sabaros, so maybe it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Woo. All right. So like 2 o'clock in the morning, we wander to get some Sabaros, and there's people coming back from the bar who have gone out and enjoyed the social occasion.
And we're wondering where we were. I think we ran into people who were just like, weren't you going to come out to McKeeb's tonight?
McKeeb's? The twin. I think we ran into the twins.
Might be.
Yeah, and they were like, I thought you guys were coming. And we were wasted. Like, we are also wasted.
Yeah.
They are wasted. And we're just like, we got to get pizza. I can't even deal with this right now.
I've been running the cops all night.
Yeah. So we missed out on the
Don't tell me that I haven't been having a good time, because it's 3 o'clock. I've been avoiding the police,
and I'm wasted. We've been drinking out of shots all night. God, you didn't even catch it.
I was looking at you.
Okay.
The video replay will show that I was giving you a stone-eyed glance.
Let's go to the video. I'm gonna go under the hood. Oh, good.
My favorite part of Major League Baseball instant replay, by the way, is like the umpire or the managers don't want to get mad at the umpires for no good reason, but they want to review the call, but they want to make sure that it's good first. So they're like standing out there talking to the umpire, going like, "I'm pretty sure I'm going to be reviewing this call, and you cocksuckers are going to deal with it." And oh wait, my guy says no. I'm sorry about that. There's the whole 2 minutes where they're like looking into the dugout, like trying to be like,
"You're buying some time here.
You're gonna fucking pay for this call," and then oh no, never mind. See ya.
So
I'm pretty sure Buck just asked the umpire about their family and Willie's out there.
Hey, how's your kids doing? She's still in school?
Is it a Caltech, right?
Oh yeah, man.
They have a good school. I've always enjoyed Caltech.
Ooh, I almost said it, but I didn't say it. So we're going to talk about something that's ancillary or a tangent. Ancillary or a tangent to that, which is A113, which is in a bunch of animated movies. That's actually from Caltech.
Yeah.
And I did not know that until I heard it on the Kane Show.
Were you on the Chive today, too?
No, it was on the Kane Show on Thursday.
Okay, so the Kane Show was watching looking at the Chive.
Well, that's only if he was on the Chive yesterday, then the Chive got it from Kane Show.
Whatever.
And I know there's a lot of Chivettes who listen to Kane Show. I'm hoping there's a lot of Chivettes who listen to this show, and you guys should send us your pictures.
Rob does have a Snapchat.
I do have Snapchat. Speaking of which, let me check Snapchat, because this is totally professional.
In the meantime, I'll move on to the next one.
Oh, no, there was one other thing. So there was another story that I was going to tell. And P.S. I remembered why it was funny, and now I've forgotten why it was funny again.
Well,
so
should we skip it and come back to it?
No, don't even go back. Let's just skip it.
All right. Well, there was I realize now that you asked me to check what the name of the place was, but I never did.
Son of a bitch.
There was a Mexican place in Harbor East, which if you're not from Baltimore is kind of a glitzy area of town.
Yeah, well,
high end
for Baltimore, it's very high.
For Baltimore, yeah.
It's got the
rent is still only like $3,000 a month.
Well, only $3,000. I mean,
well, no, but I mean, like, there's some places in the country where they're just like, oh, only $3,000. What?
I was gonna say, our New York friends would be like, "Wait, do you get a bedroom for that? What?
Wait a minute, there's a kitchen and 2 bedrooms?
Yeah,
and it's only $3,000.
And it's very nice, and that would have probably been our next move had she who shall not be named, because we were stepping up our game. Ridgely's Delight to Charles Center, or whatever, Park Charles. That would have been our next.
We probably would have gone to the Fitzgerald and then moved up from there.
Fitzgerald was such a nice place.
Yeah. My sister's moving there, by the way.
And it was her. She was the one who said we couldn't move there, right? Was she? No, she was the one pressing it.
Yeah, because she wanted me to be closer to Micah.
No, not your. I'm talking about when we were going to live there.
Oh yeah, she
wanted to live there.
Yeah,
so
she was the one who came with me with numbers, going like,
we could totally do.
It'll only cost you this much money.
P.S.
And I know you only make this much money a week because Rob told me, and you told him in confidence, but it's okay.
P.S. I
don't
not
care.
I did not. I think she made that up.
I think she just assumed things.
I think she did. And ironically, she break down the numbers. Her portion also came out of my pay. Like, how does that work? How does your portion, you're working, if you want to call it working. I mean, she left the house.
Well, she was working for something.
She left the house and went to a place and didn't
where money was exchanged.
Money was exchanged for certain
and then
services.
money was once again exchanged for drugs.
Well, upstairs, out of sight, yes.
Right.
Or if there was no money exchanged in the first part, then other things.
We are getting off the rails.
Sorry, yes. So, Alciana with
Alciana.
You say Alciana, it's Alciana.
No,
Alciana.
it's Alciana.
It's got a French. It's the French Quarter of Baltimore.
No, it's Alciana.
All right. So anyway, we are in the fancy part of Baltimore. Those classy folks, Hampstead. You know what I'm talking about. It's Alciana. Off the rails.
I think you should. I think you should have to. I think we should introduce. How do you say it? Alciana.
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 I don't know.
That should be a new drinking.
Consume.
A new magic word.
Consume. Did I refill? I did. Okay. So we're there, and ironically, so the previous story that I didn't remember was actually a story about she who shall not be named breaking up with me on Cinco de Mayo, and I was at a college somewhere, and she's like, "Good luck, moving on," and I was like, "It's Cinco de Mayo. I'm on a campus. It's like fish in a barrel." Anyway, so she also, and when I thought about it on the drive up, she also broke up with me that year. That's also why we were at the fish taco place or whatever. The fish tacos were delicious there. So I'm taking selfies, as I tend to do.
Yeah.
And then we were taking a MySpace dual selfie, and we got photobombed by a dude in a suit who looked so pissed off that we were
drinking at 4:00 in the afternoon and he was still working.
Yeah, like he's got the cell phone in one hand and he's checking his watch, except for he's got his hand up and he's looking at us with disgust. Just disgust.
Yeah. Kids.
Yeah. So
fucking drinking in the middle of the day.
Okay. So 1 year later, I am now an attorney. I am working, and I walk past a bar, and I realize that I have become the guy.
That guy?
I'm that guy now.
Yeah.
Because as I walked past, I was just like, I got to be in court in 15 minutes. Oh, these kids. But they weren't kids. They were just younger than me.
Can I say something that's not related to the story just
Absolutely.
real quick?
Yes.
Tequila is fucking delicious.
Oh, it is delicious.
Anyway, the important part of the story that Rob is telling is...
Poorly, by the way. Very poorly.
Well,
my storytelling skills.
There's a lot of alcohol involved right now. How many shots are we in?
I
think we're going to have to go to the videotape to know for
I think
sure.
I'm at 4 right now.
I'm pretty sure I'm at 4 or 5.
I think you're at 5, because I think that last one was you're in the lead now. If
yeah.
you want to call it a lead.
Anyway, I should put a counter on the video.
Bing!
Bing, 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 bing. Anyway.
So hopefully when you look, there'll be a counter right here. It has a number of shots.
Right around
in this area here,
yeah.
which only really plays on the video. The audio is... If you're listening to this on audio, I feel bad for you, because they're just...
I feel like listening to this on audio is like listening to the Nerdist, like when they go off the rails.
Yeah.
They don't really care.
Like, let's humbard our way out of this.
Yeah.
Screw you guys, I'm going home. I just listened to that episode. By the way, Chris Hardwick, if you'd like to have us on, we would totally be cool with getting on your show. Because
anyway,
I only listened to. Whoa, God.
Anyway, we took the circulator out to Harbor East, and by the time we finished drinking,
that consumes.
Oh.
By the way, and that just reminds me of playing Kings, sitting around Hofstra dorm room with. I'm totally going to shout out names. I'm going to call people out. Diana, who I had. Diana was cute. I loved her. Bethany, who is now married and is no longer the last name I know her by, but I think her last name is something very generic, who I had a crush on. And Dan, that asshole, dated. God. All four of the girls. Anyway, this reminded me of playing Kings with them, where you set the rules and like the little man on the cup. Do you remember the little man rule? I know we are.
Anyway,
sorry, I'm just filling time. Go ahead.
By the time we were done partying for the day, I almost did it again.
Well,
I wasn't ready for another 1800, but. By the time we were done partying, the circulator, which is a free bus in Baltimore, and fucking red,
yes,
was no longer running.
Okay, but you're skipping. Let's just quick. So we went from where we were in Harbor East. We took the circulator to the end of the route at that point. They have the
at
green
Fells
route
Point.
now, but now it doesn't end in Fells Point. It ends somewhere between Harbor East and Fells Point.
Right
near Fletcher's, where Fletcher's used to be.
Yeah,
and that's where we hopped off, and we walked the rest of the way down to.
Shout out to Shannon. She likes Fletcher's.
Yeah. By the way,
or what used to be Fletcher's.
I was gonna say it's not.
I
Fletcher's.
used to like what was used to be Fletcher's. I don't know what the fuck it is now.
I was gonna say I feel like it's still a venue. It's just probably a different kind of venue. I hate.
Hold on, time out. I don't want to say the word, but fucking time out. I am fucking sick and tired. All right, Baltimore, listen up. I am fucking sick and tired of what used to be really fucking rad places, like the Record Theater in Towson and Fletcher's down in Fells Point-ish, becoming like douchebag magnetism places. Like, we got the Torrent Lounge where the Record used to be. I remember what it is since we started talking. It's the Get Down.
Oh, because it was that when we moved there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had stopped being
But it's like, they're douchebag clubs now, where they play, like, not fucking real house music. Baltimore, for anybody who doesn't know, Baltimore is the home of legitimate fucking club music. Listen up. I'm going to put a link to it on the show notes.
Okay.
But if you listen to Please Mr. Postman Baltimore Club Mix, you won't know what Baltimore House is about. It was a great track.
It's own
originally
genre.
the old Motown track was awesome. The Baltimore Club Mix one will just get you dancing. That's what all Baltimore club house music used to be about.
Right. And it was its own genre because there used to be the DC Baltimore house, like, I don't want to say
Baltimore house.
No, but there used to be competitions.
Used to be worldwide.
Yeah.
That's what we were known for. If you ask somebody in Tokyo about Baltimore, they'd say house.
Like the guy in the doctor show? That was sexy. Ladies, I am single and ready to mingle.
Oh. We have had so much to drink.
It's such a short time. That's the problem. It's really not that much.
You know what I think the best part
by
about
the way, I need to consume because you did say the special word. Did I say it after you? I don't think I did, so I'm going to go ahead and say no.
I haven't even had a chance to fill my cup.
Take it.
What I love most about the fact that we have the bottle right on the table in view of the camera for the people watching the YouTube.
You can see how much we've
version is how much we've drank.
Yeah, that's two shots for you, buddy. Rob's definitely going to win this. So that's good. So I'm going to keep telling the story.
I just poured a double.
Yeah, you need double, so that's good because you have two.
Just to make up for the fact that I'm 2 in now.
Yeah, by your way, you're up by 3 right now.
No, that I'm 2 in on just
just that.
So since I filled in my cup, to finish the story before I put this down my gullet. We were walking back from Fells Point because the circulator stopped running.
Yes,
and there was a group of pretty cute girls. who were walking down the street at the same time we were.
Now, again, you're the worst storyteller because you got to do the setup. First of all, for people who don't know Baltimore, you take your shots. For people who don't know Baltimore, Fells Point is a solid hour walk from where we were. So we had been drinking. Damn it!
EP, shout out for putting this rule in place.
Yeah,
because
thank
it
you,
has
EP.
it has been the one that has destroyed us the most.
By the way, she's in Vegas, and she keeps sending me Snapchats.
She keeps sending me Snapchats, and none of them involve yard-long margaritas, and that is disappointing to me.
Which, I almost said it, but I didn't. Tangent.
Buckets.
So,
YouTubers.
Yeah. So, tangent. When we were in Vegas for my 30th birthday,
awesome.
yes. By the way, I recommend everybody go to Vegas at least once in their life. We kind of set a rule that when we walked past a Fat Tuesday, we had to get something.
Yeah.
What we didn't realize upon making that rule was that those things are everywhere.
Yeah. They're more prevalent than ATMs.
Yeah. So at one point, I think the second day, we had walked at least 15 miles, and I had consumed 150.
I like how you assumed that was 15 miles. That was
No, I did the counter. I did the footstep counter because
that was for the month, sir.
No. That was for that day. That day we walked. For those of you who know Vegas, we walked from the Mirage all the way down to Luxor.
Sir,
yes.
Shut up. Drink your shot.
Keep telling
me. Stop! Yes. I'll be right behind.
Train wreck. So it's an hour-long walk. It's uphill most of the way. We've been having all of those alcoholic beverages all day. Sweaty.
We're very much like we are right now.
Pretty much walking an hour back to the place, and about 40 minutes into the walk, halfway up an uphill, we see this group of 4 girls, 3 or 4 girls, walking on the same side of the street as us, uphill. Go.
Needless to say, we were talking about Entourage, the show on HBO. I'm sure all of you are aware of it.
How did we get on that topic? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Much like we get on any topic, just
most of the
going off the rails.
There we go.
Anyway, we were talking about Entourage, and some girl said, I love Ari, which clued off Rob immediately.
Well, no, it clued off you.
No, it clued off you because you are, of anybody on that show, most like Ari.
But that's what I'm saying. You said, well, if you need an Ari, this guy is
going to be a lawyer.
Yeah. And
yeah.
By the way, one of the best setups I've ever had. Just like she set you up and you set me up, and bam, we were there.
And then they walked across the street.
Wait, no, don't skip forward. That happened at the end of the story.
They walked across. They were across the street, and they walked to us to talk to us.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's what happened. Good.
And one girl, anybody watching the video, hold on a second. I'm going to do this for you. Putting the hat on backwards. Just in case you don't know. Putting the hat on backwards. Turtle? Am I alone on this? Rob, do I look like Turtle?
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you about that.
Do I look like Turtle?
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Am I pretty much Jerry Ferrara when he was fat?
Close, but the other thing that keep in mind for people watching the video is that this was 2010. So at that point, you were this is right before we had switched. Where you were probably at your, most svelte.
I was at 200.
Yeah, it was really svelte, and it was a solidly built 200.
Yeah.
So you were that season of Entourage where Turtle started dating Meadow Soprano.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Sigler.
Yes,
Jamie Lynn Sigler.
So it was that one where he was looking good and he was built, and that was you then. And I think if I remember, my brain's so soggy, that we talked about how you had lost weight and you went from Turtle first season to Turtle third season,
right?
While Turtle also made that transformation.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes.
Anyway, we were walking down the street and we were talking Entourage with a bunch of cute girls. This is when, technically speaking, both of us were single.
It wasn't technical. She gave a blowjob to a dude in the tunnel of the Harbor Tunnel that night. We were single.
We were both single at the time. And
her boss.
And one of the girls said, and I quote, I think Turtle is sexy. YouTubers, fucking look at it. Is this not Turtle?
Yes.
I fucking shaved. I fucking hate the fact that I shaved before this.
It was a little because a little scruffy.
Because I had the
I
turtle.
gotta talk in the mic.
I had the turtle scruff going on.
Right.
Backwards hat. I'm a little bit pudgy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a good-looking guy.
And you look like Turtle.
For a pudgy guy, I'm a good-looking guy. And that's Turtle. He's a good-looking, pudgy guy. Yeah. And she said, I kind of like Turtle. And I looked at her, I was like, I kind of like you.
Oh.
I kind of like you.
So now I'm gonna take over the story.
And then Rob.
Wait. No, because I want to set up. I want to set up how drunk I was.
I need to. I
won't go on your story. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna do some background.
All I need for you to do right now.
Let me just say.
Hold on.
I won't tell you part of the story.
All I need you to do is I'm going to set you up and you say exactly verbatim.
No, because there's something to say before that.
You say exactly verbatim what you said.
No, because there's something to say before that.
No, hold on. The people are listening. You can say whatever you need to say after the fact.
Okay.
She said, I like Turtle. He's really cute.
No, he's sexy.
He's sexy. Mm-hmm. And Rob chimed in with...
Fuck Turtle. Okay, so the background of that is this. Again, we had been consuming alcohol all day. I was in a state of mind as I was walking down the street that the initial conversation with them started with you comparing me to Ari, which is fantastic. I'm a lawyer. I was talking about actually moving to LA and being a agent. But
which you should still do because I need an agent.
And P.S. Yes, if somebody can get me a job out in L.A., seriously, I would love to do that. And okay, I almost said it. Tangent. The first time that I heard Macklemore in the fall of 2012, I said that dude is going to be at the top of the top 40 before February, and in January he was. This year, I said when I heard Iggy Azalea, I know it's going to be a little long, guys. It's going to be a little long. Bear with us. When I heard Iggy Azalea in February of 2014, I called you and I said, you remember when I called that whole Macklemore thing? And it wasn't just me. I'm not saying I did anything. I'm saying I saw the potential and I knew that it was going to be there. I saw Iggy Azalea. I said, white girl, she's hot. She's a rapper. And that video is awesome. And by the time we get to Memorial Day, I'm on the roll. She will be in the top 40. I don't know if you've listened to your radios, but she is in the top 40 now. There is so much potential right here being wasted. Just wasted. Okay, so
you also prefaced it with saying, you know how much you like K-Flay, who is an underground rapper who still doesn't get the respect she deserves, and I fucking love. I love K-Flay.
K-Flay, call me.
I listen to everything you fucking do, and I think it is brilliant.
And we can make some magic together. I can.
Yet Rob said, "This girl's the next K-Flay."
Well, no, I didn't. I said that you'll like her because she's a white girl rapper. It's completely different styles.
She's like Nicki Minaj.
I just wanted you to listen to the thing. I just wanted you to listen to the thing. I knew that was a way to make you listen. So anyway, back to the story. We're off of the tangent. So. As we were walking down the street, the intros to the girls came because...
I spelled tequila on
it. Oh, my God. So this is a train wreck. But the intro to the girls was...
This might be the best episode ever.
It could be. So the intro to the girls was Cory saying, oh, you're going to be a lawyer. You're just like Ari. And... as tends to happen, they heard lawyer and they were like, what? Let's go across and talk to these guys. And then as we proceeded to walk down the street, I described why I wasn't just Ari, but I was also E, and I was...
Well, to be fair, you did set me up a bit.
But who's the star of the show?
Vince.
Vince. I was Vince, Ari, and E, and in the process I set you up as being that other... the turtle, which I then blew out of the water.
Yeah. Rob is good at talking to the ladies.
That is
don't
nonsense.
Know about Rob.
That is nonsense. I am not.
Rob. He's very good at talking to the ladies. This very instant was the single, not just for Rob, but for maybe all of humankind, the biggest example of cock blocking ever in the history of ever.
And I have felt horrible about that. Since that day. Actually, that day I didn't feel so bad about it because I think I berated them as they walked away.
Can I be horribly inappropriate for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just out of nowhere.
Sure.
YouTube people will love this.
Yeah.
Can I smoke off your thing?
Absolutely. Here, can you take it without the thing?
Oh, I fucking need to press the button.
You have to press the button. Yes. So this thing is off the rails completely. But here's what I'll tell you. And while we're on that,
God, I need a nicotine.
On that, yeah. So,
I'm really about to stop this podcast to
take a
get
cigarette
some
break.
fucking cigarette.
All right, so I want to get some.
That's how much tequila we're into now.
Shout out to Shore Vapor in Easton, Maryland, where I got this because they are awesome and they hooked me up. And
next topic.
So, wait. So we got to finish the story. So after I said "fuck turtle" so loudly that it echoed off the buildings, conversation stopped. The women stopped talking, stopped walking, and they looked at us. And I was like, "That's right, fuck turtle." And they proceeded to walk back across the street and walk parallel to us for at least 4 blocks and not speak to us at all. It was. And I do apologize. But here's the thing. Here's what I'll tell you. It was, first of all, an excellent story. The most epic cock block in the history of cock blocks.
Yeah.
2, about 5 months later, you met Aaron. And had you boned one of the random turtle girl on the street, who knows if you would have met Aaron.
I guess that's true.
Bada bing! That's a win for me.
That's you just drawing it back into Sopranos there with your bada bing.
Oh, man, I do love The Sopranos. That's because Jamie Lynn. See, I was like, where are we going? There we go. Jamie Lynn and The Sopranos. And
I could have had a Jamie Lynn that night.
Did she look like Jamie? No, she was blonde.
No, she was blonde. I don't
yeah.
give a shit. I was single for like fucking a year at that point.
Yes.
Retrospect, I'm glad I ended up with Aaron. And we've had
night?
this long-lasting relationship.
But that
if
night?
you would have asked me that night, yeah. I would have liked to have broken the streak.
So, but P.S., I was also single for like, yeah, let's just skip to that. For like 2, I was single for like
hours?
2 days. Because she came back, and then like 6 weeks after that, she was like, oh, by the way, Cinco de Mayo, gave my boss a blowjob in the car in the Harbor Tunnel. And now every time I go through that tunnel, I still think about it. And the...
That's more than a shot.
That was probably more. The UA sign, which is out on 695 by exit 1 down in Essex, there past the UA sign, there is a barn that has something on it. Every time I pass by that, I think about her too because she told me a story about blowing a different guy because that's what she does. Wow.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's not talk about
Moving
that.
on.
My ex, by the way, so, and you know what?
Hold on.
Wait,
fuck you.
Wait.
Fuck
another
you.
thing I heard this week. Another thing I heard this week was that don't hate. Don't judge anyone based on their exes. Don't judge me based on mine. Yeah, I have dated a stripper too in my past. That absolute truth. I have dated women of all colors, of all nations. Dated being a very loose term. Nations and colors and creeds and everything else. Don't judge me based on my past because you know what? Here's what I'll tell you. I'm a better person because of it. And if you like who I am today, it's based on all those experiences. So to that girl who tried to give me shit about it on Facebook, I'm looking at you. I'm just kidding. She didn't really give me shit, but she did say something about it. All right, go ahead. What are you doing? Do your thing.
Speaking of dating people of different colors.
Hey!
The racist owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, whose name I will not mention because I've had quite enough of this.
That was a segue.
This will go down as either the worst or the best episode we've ever done.
Or both. And I think that if there is a podcast Hall of Fame, this will be in that things not to do in your first 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Get wasted on camera. So, by the way, just so... also,
whatever.
The lawyer and me just kicked in. We are both 21, just so everybody's clear. I am 30, and he is... Oh, you're 30 now, too. That's right.
I am 30.
You are 30 now, so we're 30.
So I'm a solid 9 years ahead of this being legal.
You mean behind it being legal? Ahead
Shut
would mean
up.
that you were...
Shut up.
My math skills aren't really up to par.
Shut up, Lawyer Rob. Shut up, Lawyer Rob.
When I have to get real close,
all right.
This makes me feel inappropriate. I don't know why. This triggers something in my sixth brain.
When you have to talk to the mic real close.
Yeah, when I have to get real close like this, I just feel like, hey, how are you? But no, it's not because so many comedians have used the mic as a penis reference. I think that's why.
Guess what? Segue.
Oh, sorry. We're going to segue.
We're going to talk about the racist owner of the Los Angeles Clippers.
Donald Sterling. Yes, we're going to talk.
Oh, there you go. That is not a drink. That is a drink.
But that's 2 for you, my friend.
Oh, fuck! Oh, how dare you, sir?
Oh, we have just gone off the reservation completely. So I have to be at a charity event tonight and deal blackjack. If you're sitting at my table, God bless you. You're going to win some money. Cheers.
Cheers. Ugh.
I swallowed my gum.
This is what I say to Rob after every episode. This is good pod.
It's good pod. By the way, you need one more. Because you said the D word twice. So that would be 2 shots for you. You did.
All right. Well,
you said that's not a D. That's a D. So that was 2. And you need a minute? Do you need a minute?
I need a minute. I'll get to it. You owe me one. But
okay.
I'm saying.
So let's talk about
the racist owner of the Los Angeles Clippers.
Racist.
He is fucking racist.
He's not racist.
He is, for the history of him being alive, racist.
He was banging a mixed girl.
Everybody knows the story. We don't need to set it up. But Donald S., owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, has been banned for life from the NBA and is no longer allowed to attend team games, practices, or do anything with the business of the team.
Okay, so here's I'm going to start.
And Rob is going to take the lawyer perspective of this.
I'm not. I'm going to take the wise old man. Here's what I'll tell you. There were 2 audio clips that were released.
YouTube.
The first one was 9 minutes. Are you sipping it? There was nothing in that cup. You need to refill.
There was?
Okay. Oh, that's because you overpoured the last
I
one.
overpoured.
Okay. So if you listen to the first 9-minute clip, there is nothing inherently racist about what he says. What he says, and I'm going to quote from my notes that I took, is what you hear is a discussion between 2 people that has less to do with race and more to do with the men that she puts herself around. What is directly racist? He says multiple times that he doesn't care about race. For God's sake, he's banging a mixed chick. He said he doesn't want Michael Jackson. I know, we're real long. He doesn't want Magic Johnson on her Instagram. Now, what I took from that was, it doesn't care about race. What he cares about is his buddies are like, yo, aren't you banging that chick? Why is she hanging out with... And I understand it is an illness, and it is what it is, but Magic Johnson has AIDS. He's had AIDS for a long time. And I think the context was, is she banging Magic and banging you? Because if that's the case,
she was also on the Instagram with Matt Kemp, which was also a thing.
But that's okay. And he mentions that in the second video, which is what my point was. If you listen to the first one only, there's nothing inherently bad. The second one is not so good.
Let me set up. The owner of the Clippers, whose full name I will not say for the sake of I can't take another shot at this moment, or else I will not make this point coherently.
Wait, isn't he from Mad Men? Isn't it one of the games from Mad Men?
I think his name might be somebody from Mad Men. But I
wait.
don't know
So what are the
sure.
names? There's Cooper and Draper and Price. What's the other one?
I'm not. No.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you.
That was a maniacal laughter.
He has, for as long as he's been alive, been a fucking horrible racist. For as long as I can tell.
That is true.
I don't give a shit. I'm fucking saying it on a podcast. Sue me if you wish. He has been horrible...
I'm going to just put a drop in here. The thoughts of Cory Baker are his alone. They're not the thoughts of the Anthem podcast, or especially Robert Cheek. Robert Cheek does not share those thoughts. Mr. We can't say your name, but you know who you are. I am certainly on your side of that equation. So if you're going to sue somebody, sue him only in person. Okay, go ahead.
There has been many an occasion where the horrible racist views of Mr. S have been made clear. I was worried that we wouldn't get drunk during this episode, but I think that has proved very clear that we will.
It's totally fine. We got work done. Go ahead. So the horrible racist thoughts of a guy that you don't really understand. Sorry, what?
His wife, apparently, from what I have read today, went door to door in an apartment complex to see whether or not the ethnicity of the people who lived there were
of a minority descendants.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm fucking drunk.
Are we guilty of the sins of our spouses? If Aaron goes and does something, does that make you guilty of that sin?
If I have been accused of being a fucking horrible racist, then yes. If I send her out to do something on behalf of my horrible racism, then yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
If I am accused in court multiple times of being a horrible racist, and I send Aaron out to be a horrible racist, then yes. I can be accused by proxy of being a horrible racist. But here's the point. He has been... Let me back up to what you were saying.
Okay.
About Magic Johnson and Matt Kemp.
Which, by the way, is about guys that she was around. It was more about the guys that she's around and not about what the race was.
The two people who were named by Donald S. on the Instagram account of...
That was a shout-out to somebody on Snapchat.
V. Stiviano. Or whatever her fucking name is.
Yeah. V. Stiviano is her technical name.
V. Stiviano.
Yeah.
They are both... I've lost my train of thought.
Okay, we're going to pick up. Here's what I'll tell you. If this is where he made his mistake. 2 minutes and 28 seconds into the tape, he says, Mr. S. says to V. Stiviano, I guess that you don't know that. Maybe you're stupid. That is where he went wrong. That is where he went wrong, because at that point, it was going to get released to the public. And I'll tell you why. Because I look at her and I say, I would do horrible things to her. And you know what that means automatically?
That girl has crazy written all over her.
Crazy written all over it. If Rob looks at her from the get and says, I could be into you, hands down. If you were single and we went out to a bar, in fact, when you were single and we went out to a bar, that was a game we played. It was, who does Rob like? And now let's prove how crazy she is.
Absolutely. If Rob likes you, and don't take this as if Rob hits on you at a bar, he likes you.
Right.
But if Rob really likes you, you're fucking crazy.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say to that is that today Rob and earlier Rob are very different. Then Rob, absolutely. Because I was dealing with all that craziness with She Who Should Not Be Named. Now I'm older. I would say wiser, but we're drinking on camera while doing a podcast. So I don't know that wiser. But nonetheless, I'm in a different frame of mind now. Burping on camera and stuff. I'm in a different frame of mind where I'm looking for a wife, and I think that I can shun out the crazy. So if I like you now, it doesn't mean that you're crazy. What it means is that I like you. That's all that it means. But at this point, you have known me long enough that you associate that together, and that's what I'm going to say. Because you met her. She's not crazy. I feel like I need to defend her. Go ahead.
She's all right.
She's going to listen to this, so just so you know.
She's all right. I'm fine.
Yes. Here's my point. She made it a race issue. She kept talking about, oh, is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm mixed? Is it because he's black? She harped on it. It was a setup. It was a setup, plain and simple. And by the way, his wife sued her before the tape got released. How about that? How about that?
Let me say this. Donald S., for as long as he has owned the Clippers, 1981, I want to say?
I've done my research. Hang on, let me check.
Roughly speaking, 1981. Has been sued multiple times for being a horrible fucking racist. He's been sued by Elgin Baylor. He's been sued by people who lived in places that he's owned, saying that he's a slumlord, who sent people by to see how many black and Latina people live in the apartment complexes that he owns.
By the way, the correct term is Hispanic or Latino. Latina means only women.
No offense to anybody who took offense to that. But please understand that I only said it in the respect of a horrible racist who I am not defending.
Not at all.
That he was trying to find a reason to not pay for gross negligence on his part. He was a horrible slumlord.
Okay.
By all manners of the law.
Yes, absolutely he was. And he paid a $2.75 million lawsuit.
Which is
of that.
only 0.75.
No, 0.25.
0.25, which is $250,000.
Yes.
More than what he had to pay to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
For the problems that he caused to, I can only imagine, hundreds of families.
All right. Give me just a second. I'm going to rail on this just for
The
a second.
NBA, by the way, before you get into it, is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
But $2.5 million is their maximum fine. That's all they can do.
Bullshit. $2.5 million is a drop in the bucket to a billionaire
Absolutely.
who owns the Los Angeles Clippers. By far, over the last 25 years, the worst franchise in NBA history.
Yes, absolutely.
The worst.
Here's what I'll tell you about that.
There's franchises that haven't even been around for 25 years.
Yep.
Who are worth more than the Clippers right now.
Yep.
Lob City.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
ridiculous.
So, the man is...
The Raptors are worth more than the Los Angeles Clippers right now.
Where are the Raptors now? They're not in Toronto still, are they?
They still are in Toronto.
Oh, shoot.
The only team that has moved out of Vancouver is the Grizzlies, who have moved to Memphis.
You mean Canada. Vancouver only had one team. The only team that's moved from Canada is Vancouver.
They've moved from Vancouver to Memphis.
Right, but they're still the Toronto Raptors.
Toronto is the only team left in Canada.
Right. The wheels have come off. All right, so I'm going to present my argument fully. Here's what I will tell you. California is a two-party consent state, which means that to be recorded, two parties need to be recorded. They need to have consent to record. Now, apparently, Mr. S gave permission to his girlfriend / assistant / whoever she is,
Mistress
Viano, to record his telephone calls because he had problems with this back in 2001 and had someone sue him over a house because he had promised her the house as part of her pay in 2001, and then she sued him about it. So he gave her permission to record phone calls, but nothing else. The audio you hear was recorded in the kitchen of her house. Therefore, it's a violation of the federal wiretapping statute, California's version of the wiretapping statute, and it should be illegal. Nonetheless, the views of a person are protected by the First Amendment. Now, people get so confused about the First Amendment that it means that the government cannot do anything to you because of something you say. For instance, back in 2012, I saved us from getting thrown out of an opening day game because I drunkenly argued that the Maryland Stadium Authority is a governmental agency and therefore the First Amendment applies, and anything that I say there has to be protected by the First Amendment, and if they throw me out, I could sue them for millions of dollars. It was enough that a city of Baltimore police officer said, fine, we're going to move those Yankees fans. So that was fine for me. All I'm saying is this. The NBA is not a government agency. I think that's clear. But there was a violation of the federal wiretapping statute, and I have to say I agree with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who said, absolutely, he is a racist, and he should be removed. And, oh, by the way, the person who released those recordings to the media should be arrested and spend the rest of their life in jail. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said that. What's his real name or his non-Muslim name? I don't remember.
Lou Alcindor.
Lou Alcindor said that. I completely agree with him. Yes, he's a racist and should be removed. However, if you make him sell the team in this market and he takes a loss, the NBA should have to pay him for the value that was lost from the team by the forced sale. God, the sun is really right in my eyes. But so we have to worry about always being. No, I'm fine. We have to worry about always being recorded, and does what we say, even in the privacy of our own home, lead to us getting fired? Should I worry that the things that I say here or 10 minutes from now when we turn off the camera, that you go and tell somebody and that can make me lose my job? That is ridiculous, and it's just unacceptable. So, the things that he said were horrible, and I do not support the things that he said, but should he lose his investment because of that? Absolutely not. And what the NBA has said is that he might have said them in private, but they've become public, and therefore he deserves to have this investment taken away from him. And I just can't support that.
What Rob is talking is legalese, which is a highfalutin word for the reason why everyday citizens should worry about jobs taken away from them. What in reality it is an excuse for why a member of the owner of an NBA team who has signed off on the NBA Board of Governors should worry about why their team is taken away from them, because they signed to agree. They signed papers saying that they would be responsible for what is called as morals complex. Obviously, I've had too much to drink.
I think
a
so.
morals contract
Yes.
with the National Basketball Association about what they can and cannot say. And one of many things that they cannot say is that black people are not equal to white people, which is essentially what Donald Sterling has said in his comments.
Okay. So Donald by the way, you said his last name. I did not. That means you are drinking.
Fuck you!
Nah.
Fuck you!
So here's what I'll say about that: is he's not the only person to lose his job / investment. The president of the Los Angeles chapter, the NAACP, whose name escapes me and I can't find it in here, also lost his job because he
was going to give Donald S. a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Right. So here's what I'll ask you: if he has done things in his life that deserve the Lifetime Achievement Award, does it matter what his personal feelings in private are? If he has done so much good work for the community that he would deserve that award?
No. For anybody who was watching the video, you see me shaking adamantly at that assertion.
Yes.
Because Donald S. has, for as long as he's been an owner of the Clippers, been a horrible fucking racist.
Okay.
I don't give a shit. Because I hope you would defend me in court.
I would.
If he would sue me.
I can't really say that, but sure. Go ahead.
He has, for as long as he's been an owner of the Clippers, been a horrible fucking racist.
Okay, so what?
So there's a moral contract that is signed when you become an owner of an NBA team where you won't be a horrible fucking racist.
Okay, but that contract could not be enforced.
At any point, the NBA owners at a 3-4 vote can vote you out of ownership.
Yeah, and they will. They'll force him to sell.
And they will.
Yeah, they will.
He is not going to be an owner of an NBA team.
Right. But should
More
that
than
matter?
likely by the end of the time that we post this podcast.
But should that matter? Again,
Yes, it should.
he did enough good work that the NAACP was giving him a Lifetime Achievement Award. Does it matter what he
was
really...
so rich. He was so rich that he was able to spend enough money on civil rights causes to make up for the fact that he was a horrible fucking racist for all of his life.
Here's what I'll say. I don't trust privately held recordings. The reason I don't is because in my life... Wait. You have borne witness...
I don't give a shit about horribly...
You have borne witness to a girl beating herself up in our apartment and recording it and trying to make it sound like it was me hitting her.
I don't give a shit about publicly recorded
podcast.
Podcast.
Blah.
I don't give a shit about publicly recorded phone conversations. What I care about is...
He's a horrible racist.
Yes!
Okay.
And Elgin Baylor, who is an NBA legend and has no reason to lie about this sort of thing.
Nope.
Nor the many thousands of people who have lived in apartment complexes that he's owned have had reason to lie about it.
Nope.
Have all said the same thing.
That he's a horrible racist.
He's a horrible racist.
Absolutely. But he also did enough good work that he qualified for the NAACP Lifetime Achievement Award.
That's because you give him... If you're a fucking billionaire, you can give enough money to the NAACP
that they give you an award.
That they give you an award.
Yeah. So if this story broke 6 weeks from now and he was the already Lifetime Achievement Award winner, would you have a different perspective?
No.
Because he's a horrible racist. Because you're judging him based on his personal views. You're judging him based on his personal views.
I have felt this way about Donald Sterling. You just made it me wanting to get into this so I could drink.
Oh, this is what I do. Do it. I'm going to check.
Donald S.
While you're doing that, I'm checking Snapchat. Go ahead.
Donald S.
I'm listening.
has been responsible for so much. Says he's been an owner alone. Mm-hmm. What is it, 1982? 1984?
82.
82. Mm-hmm. Since 1982.
1982.
I think we're going to have to cut this podcast short.
Ooh, we're running long. Go ahead, finish your thought. We're never going to reach an agreement on this, so it doesn't matter.
Since 1982.
All of my research.
Since 1982, he's been a horrible racist.
Yes.
And it was only a matter of time before the NBA suspended him for life for one of the ridiculous things that he said.
Yeah. Okay, so now it happened.
Yeah, and now we're done.
And whether or not that should happen, we disagree about, because I think that with the things that you say in private should remain private. And if I have a particular view about a particular set of people, and in the end, those people benefit by my generosity, should it matter what my personal views are? No, absolutely not. I have done enough to deserve the Lifetime Achievement Award. Why should it matter what my personal views are?
I don't think you should be able to give it a certain amount of money and be exempt from racism.
Well, I think that is a condemnation of the group and not of the man who gave the money.
No,
because obviously if he gave enough to justify their...
You can't give enough... You can't give a certain amount of money to a group and be exempt from racism.
So are you saying that reparations are a bad idea? Are you going on the record right now and saying reparations are a bad idea? Boo! That's our technical difficulties. Technical difficulties sign.
I think... I'm not even going to go into it.
All right, that was a setup question. That was gotcha journalism. Gotcha journalism.
That was gotcha journalism.
Gotcha journalism. All right, so...
Fucking I know how to serve Palin feels when she's drunk.
So I'm going to try and get this thing back together. So what I will say is this has been an interesting experiment. We have run an hour and 27 minutes of shenanigans.
How are the
shenanigans, just all shenanigans.
How are the Baltimore baseball teams doing?
You already said the name, so you're gonna have to drink for that one.
I didn't.
And you already owe me. You already owe me one. So
I said "or," which is a word for something that people paddle with a canoe.
They paddle an oar with a canoe.
When people paddle a canoe, they say
use
"or."
an oar. Yes, they do. All right, so let's go to the. Let's go.
I was trying to change the subject without having a drink.
That is also one of the words, so that means that you owe me two. You owe me two. You're two behind. So
I'm one behind.
No, that would be two because you also said the D word, so that would be two behind.
One is the drink. Everybody watching YouTube.
It's a battle of the wits, and you have come unarmed, my friend. All right, so
it's a twofer.
We're gonna look at the list because we need to get this thing wrapped up. So we are on the section. First of all, I love how I put a note that was Donald S. His girlfriend is now available. Dash. Wife for Rob? Question mark.
By the way, I don't want to. Just one sentence on this subject.
Yeah.
But totally somebody Rob to be all about.
I don't know that. Maybe old Rob. Probably not new Rob. New Rob's already got somebody in mind who hopefully is going to listen to this. Don't say. Do not. I know you want to. Don't say. Or you're going to have to cut it.
Just a loud breathe.
You're just going to have to cut it in post if you say it.
Just a loud breathe.
You're not allowed to say it, so you know you're not allowed to say it. So we're in the section now marked outro. So let's talk about... Wow, that was a smooth segue. Let's talk about next week's episode. What's coming up next week? Hopefully
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Hopefully my screen is back up next week.
This is going to be the worst episode ever.
No, it's going to be the best episode. You are at the epic state right now, which is great. I'm trying to hold this together. I am trying to keep this on track. I'm like Walter Cronkite. I am emotional. I know. Oh, you. By the way, you people can see you counting. That's not even. All right, so
130.
130. That's an hour and 30 minutes. So on next week's episode, we're going to be talking about Mother's Day, because obviously Mother's Day is there. This will be posted on the Tuesday after Mother's Day, but I'm sure you want to say I love you to your mom.
I do love my mother. Mama. I love my mother. She is the best. She is the reason why I'm able to do everything that I've done throughout this podcast today.
Yes, absolutely.
Because she is Irish just like me.
And I would also next week I'll say it again.
And we're 8 shots in.
You are 8 shots in. To my mother, if she ever listens to this, I am sorry, but I love you, Ma. So we're also going to be talking about the Anthem is shooting a short entitled
The Love Letter.
And we have possibly found a male lead. Possibly.
I think I found the male lead.
But we are still looking for a female lead. Right?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to finding the female lead for this short.
And what we're looking for is what you're looking for is a Rachel Lee Cook circa 1998, attractive but approachable, not too hot. So obviously nobody that I would date. But approachable and attractive.
Called The Girl Next Door.
The Girl Next Door. So we're going to be talking more about that next week. Hopefully you'll have your actress by then too. So if you're interested,
I hope honestly next week when we record this podcast,
you're sober. Yeah.
Beyond that,
yeah.
that we're doing a podcast from the set of
that'd be great.
The Love Letter.
Right.
Because I think that would be the best of all.
If you are a female actress between 18 and 28 or so, and you would consider yourself girl next door attractive, you can certainly reach out to the Anthem, Cory at otheanthem.com, the Anthem on Twitter, Facebook, all those things, and send in your headshot, maybe, or your clip reel. What do you call it?
I don't even.
So send in your
obviously we've drank enough during this episode where we're not.
It doesn't even matter.
Able to distinguish.
So all I'm saying is, if you're a female and you're an actress and you're looking for work, it's unpaid, absolutely unpaid. But you could be on the cutting.
But you could get part of the percentage that we get from award winnings.
Right. So if it goes to Sundance, you'll be in the money.
Toronto International Film Festival.
Where the Raptors
that
will
is
also
not
play.
at all words. Not what I just said.
There was not a single word. Now you want to try it again?
Toronto International Film Festival.
Boo-hoo. Yep. I am going to restart my blog over this week, theoretically. So I would love to talk about my blog, which I mentioned earlier briefly, foundingthefuture.blogspot.com. And what I will say is this episode has gone so off the rails. I can't even control it. I'm trying to keep my stuff together, but you can always reach out to the Anthem. I'm sure the comments will be so many and so vigorous in the next week. So you can reach the Anthem at on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, at otheanthem.com and at otheanthem on all your social networking. You don't know the number offhand, do you?
443-215-795-95. I'm posting it later.
It'll be posted in the comments. You can also reach out to me at Robert N. Cheek on Twitter, Tumblr. Go ahead. Everywhere.
7595. 443-219-7595.
Booyah. So yeah, you can reach out to me at Robert N. Cheek on Twitter and Tumblr and Snapchat and Kik. I think I'm still on Kik everywhere. Some pictures.
You're gonna find me on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, yeah, we're actually both on WhatsApp.
Really?
Because you made me get on there. You were like, you got to try this. Facebook bought it for a reason. It's $19.5 billion.
I just joined it because every single person who was in my film class was on it because they were pretty much Brazilian.
So, reach out to us. Next week, as I said, is going to be our Mother's Day episode. We're going to send a little special shout out to both of our moms, which we will cut and send individually, not as the full podcast. We'll also be talking about future projects that The Anthem has coming up and things that I have coming up on the Founding the Future blog. So, on behalf of Cory, I am Rob.
There's way too much to drink today.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
YouTube.
To everybody who I want to say again, we do appreciate our listenership. We appreciate everybody who takes the time to listen to us. This one's going to be a little especially long, but thank you for sticking out with us. Send us your comments, send us your messages, everything. We feel the love. I love that every Tuesday and Wednesday we start getting responses from people, and we feel so much love from all of you. So thank you for all of that. And we are looking forward to keep doing this for the next infinite future.
Absolutely. For Cory?
You shouldn't say for. We did this last week. You don't say for yourself. You would say
for Rob.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, so
for Rob. For Cory.
Oh my God! So you say for the other person and then your own name. That's how that works. So I would say for Cory. This is Rob. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
I'm sorry I've had so much to drink.